Lesson 12, worst enemy. Who do you think is my own worst enemy? Is it terrorists from a different country? What do you think? What? It's myself, Tom. You and I may be more alike than what you even want to know, but yes, it is myself. I think that's true for a lot of us, but we're going to see that here with the Israelites as well. For review last week, how do we know that in the Old Testament, if an angel of the Lord is an angel or the Lord? How can you tell? What's that? Peanut gallery? Well, no, they all look like that. Because because you can't tell from the Hebrew, and the NIV Bible is just polite to them all. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I didn't capitalize the A. No, doesn't matter. Bowing, good. What happens if you bow to an angel? What do? They freak out and they say, get up. What happens if you bow before God? Stay there. Yeah, if you're Moses, right, burning bush, you're good there, buddy. Take off your shoes, by the way, too. Yeah. So that's the one sign. And what he says and does gives it away as well, if it's God or just an angel. So, but you can't always tell just by looking. All right, we are in Numbers 25. I assume the sound desk is still plugged in. God's people escaped the curses of an evil prophet named Balaam last week. Why aren't they home free? Oh, this is painful to listen to.
While Israel was staying in Shittim, the men began to indulge in sexual immorality with Moabite women, who invited them to the sacrifices to their gods. The people ate and bowed down before these gods. So Israel joined in worshiping the Baal of Peor, and the Lord's anger burned against them.
Yeah, so they escaped the curses of an evil prophet only to, hey, want to come to church at Baal? We're cute. Just like that, whoosh, idolatry. Like, come on, people, why? Why does God include the petition, lead us not into temptation? Because does God tempt people to sin? James 1.
When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when by his own evil desire he is dragged away and enticed.
Yeah, lead us not into temptation. I always read that as kind of like Old English, where it's kind of like Yoda talks, where the word order gets messed up. Pray God does not lead us into temptation. Not like, well, he was going to, but please not, God. That's not the idea. Or show us a way out. That's how I always saw that petition of the Lord's Prayer. Once you're a Christian, you're immune to temptation, right? 1 Corinthians 10.
We should not commit sexual immorality, as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 of them died. We should not test the Lord, as some of them did, and were killed by snakes. And do not grumble, as some of them did, and were killed by the destroying angel. These things happened to them as examples, and were written down as warnings for us, on whom the fulfillment of the ages has come. So if you think you are standing firm, be careful that you don't fall. No temptation has seized you except what is common to man, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under it.
Do you ever think that the temptation that you're facing, not necessarily sex, but whatever it is so horrible no one else has ever faced it before? It's not. People face it every day. Jesus was tempted. He knows what you're going through. Talk to him. And he will provide a way out. And did you ever consider that all these things in Numbers were provided as object lessons for what to not do because it's dumb? Run away screaming Christian. That's my best advice when there's temptation. Don't try to play checkers with it. Just get away. Number 4, where did the Moab and Midian get the idea to seduce the Israelites with women and idolatry? Numbers 31.
They were the ones who followed Balaam's advice and were the means of turning the Israelites away from the Lord in what happened at Peor, so that a plague struck the Lord's people.
This is not just happenstance, we're going out dancing one night. This is tactical. This is an assault on God's people into idolatry by these other nations. And whose suggestion was it? This twerp, Balaam. That was the prophet who got yelled at by his donkey last week. That guy. Just a scoundrel. After the close encounter that Balaam had and his donkey had, why would he say anything about the Israelites? Well, if you had to guess, it's the almighty shekel, right? He was doing this for money. He's like, okay, I know the whole cursing thing went badly, but I got an idea. So he gave Balak a plan B. 6, why is God making such a big deal about adultery? It happens all the time today, right? Verse 25.
The Lord said to Moses,
Take all the leaders of these people, kill them, and expose them in broad daylight before the Lord, so that the Lord's fierce anger may turn away from Israel.
So Moses said to Israel's judges,
Each of you must put to death those of your men who have joined in worshiping the Baal of Peor.
Then an Israelite man brought to his family a Midianite woman right before the eyes of Moses and the whole assembly of Israel while they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw this, he left the assembly, took a spear in his hand, and followed the Israelite into the tent. He drove the spear through both of them, through the Israelite and into the woman's body. Then the plague against the Israelites was stopped. But those who died in the plague numbered 24,000.
Yeah, this is detailed in what exactly happened. But I'll say this much. I don't go into it, but Numbers 25, God spills a lot of ink in saying exactly who this woman is. This is the son of the chief of one of the neighboring evil tribes that are trying to get rid of the Israelites. This is a tactical attempt to send her in to go and seduce some guy. And it worked. It's just disappointing and pathetic. And by the way, adultery is a big deal at any time. All sin is. How do little sins grow into big sins?
Watch your life and doctrine closely. Persevere in them, because if you do, you will save both yourself and your hearers.
Yeah, this may be directed toward called workers, but I think it applies to head of the house at least 2, is the comment there. What I do impacts more than me. It impacts all of you. It impacts my kids, everything. And so don't ever believe the lie that no one will know or no one else will care, because your life impacts everyone around you. Any other thoughts on temptation and the dangers thereof? If not, say this prayer with me. Lord Jesus, lead us not into temptation. Grant us your Spirit that we might resist all temptation. If the temptation is too great, give us the courage to run away. Sadly, if we fall, forgive us. Amen. There are no other announcements, and there is a cake with a fish on it that has my name on it, actually. So if you guys wanted to... Oh, wait a second. Kevin wanted to talk, and apparently Nate wants to talk for some reason. Oh, come on. Thanks, Nate. Thank you, everyone. And Kevin. Here, I'll even give you the mic, so.
Thank you. Hey, just want to give everyone a big shout out to those of you who donated items to the rummage sale we had over the weekend, and who came here and helped, and came here and shopped, and it turned out really well. We raised almost $1,000 from this rummage sale, so that is fantastic. We had probably, I don't know, Jason, what would you say, 200, 250 people in this building? A lot. They were coming in droves, and we started at 8, and I think we were here half an hour earlier or so, and we had people like wandering around the parking lot wanting to come in. So it went really well. There are a couple things left on the far wall in there, some bigger items that we didn't get rid of, so if you want those, if you can use them at your house, just take them with you, because we got rid of a lot of stuff yesterday, so we sort of cleaned house here. If you have any other ideas for any other events that you'd like to be a part of or would like to work with other people on or us, we're open to that. We're already thinking about repeating this same sale next Saturday, next year of Memorial Day, because it works really well. We had tons of people here, and we gave out flyers for a soccer camp and all the other church activities that have gone on, the barbecue that we're going to have today. So there's tons of people here, and it's a great way for us to sort of integrate into the community, and you don't even have to go to their house. Heck, they came to our house. So all it needs is a little sign out front and a few signs around the place, and we get 250 people in the building. Okay, well, I just want to let you know that's great news. That helps us out quite a bit. So appreciate that, and again, appreciate everybody, and let's have some cake.